You're on a call. The client just asked you to deliver a full campaign redesign in 48 hours. Your team is already stretched thin, but the word no is lodged somewhere between your throat and your chest. You don't want to disappoint. You don't want to lose the deal. So you say yes, and silently you begin to drown. This is the moment most professionals get it wrong, not in their intentions, but in their language. The truth is, saying no to a client doesn't have to end the relationship, but saying no the wrong way, that will end it every single time. And today, you're going to learn exactly how to say no in English without losing the deal. There are two catastrophic mistakes professionals make when refusing a client request. The first is the blunt refusal. You know the one. You say, "I'm sorry, we can't do that," and the call goes silent. The client feels dismissed. Respect evaporates. The deal trembles on its last legs. The second mistake is even more dangerous, becoming a yes man. You agree to everything, overpromise, and then underdeliver. You think you're keeping the client happy, but slowly you're teaching them to exploit you. Eventually, resentment builds on both sides, and the relationship collapses anyway. The problem isn't saying no. The problem is saying no without a strategy. Here's the psychological reality most professionals ignore. Clients don't just need their requests fulfilled. They need to feel heard. When you reject a demand without acknowledgement, you trigger what psychologists call psychological reactance. The client becomes defensive. They stop listening to your reasoning and start defending their position. But when you lead with genuine understanding, you neutralize that reactance. The client relaxes, they become receptive, and now they can actually hear what you have to say. The secret is counterintuitive. Make them feel understood before you tell them no. This is where the three-part decline framework becomes your most powerful weapon. I'm going to break it down step by step, and I'll give you the exact phrases you can use tomorrow. Part A is acknowledge. Before anything else, you validate the client's request. You show them you're not dismissing their need, you're taking it seriously. This is the bridge that keeps them listening. I completely understand what you're looking for, and I can see why that would be important for your team. I appreciate you bringing this to my attention. Your concern makes complete sense given your timeline. This isn't just politeness. This is strategic. You're depositing trust before you withdraw with your decline. Part B is redirect. Now you pivot. You offer an alternative that addresses their core need without saying yes to the exact request. This is where you reframe the conversation. What I can offer instead is a phased approach that delivers the core functionality within your time frame, with the advanced features following in Phase 2. A more realistic timeline for this level of quality would be 3 weeks. Would it be helpful if I outlined what that would look like? The redirect shows you're still invested in solving their problem, just on terms that work for both of you. Part C is soft commitment. Never leave a no hanging in uncertainty. Always close with next steps. This transforms a potential rejection into a partnership decision. Let me put together a few options based on what we've discussed and get them to you by end of day. Or I'd like to propose we schedule a brief follow-up to walk through the alternatives together. This gives the client momentum and shows you're still moving forward, just in a different direction. Now let me show you exactly how this works in real scenarios. Watch how each situation uses all three parts seamlessly. Scenario 1, scope creep. The client wants you to add an entirely new deliverable to your current project without adjusting the budget. You say, "I completely understand why you'd want to include that. It would add significant value. However, given the scope of that addition, we would need to either extend the timeline by 2 weeks or adjust the project investment accordingly. Would you prefer to discuss which trade-off works best for your team?" Scenario 2, unrealistic deadline. The client needs your team to turn around a complex deliverable in half the normal time. I understand this is time sensitive, and we want to make sure you hit your market window. To deliver the quality you deserve within that time frame, I recommend we prioritize the core components first and phase the supporting materials. Can I prepare a phased proposal that keeps you on schedule? Scenario 3 discount demand. The client is pushing for a 30% reduction in your quote. I completely understand the budget constraints you're working with, and I appreciate you being transparent about that. What I can offer instead is enhanced value through extended support terms or an additional deliverable at no extra cost. Would that provide more meaningful benefit for your investment? Here's what separates elite professionals from the rest. They don't avoid saying no. They master the art of saying no in a way that strengthens the relationship. Every time you handle a difficult client conversation with confidence and clarity, you build trust that compounds. That client becomes a referral source. That client becomes a long-term partner. Your ability to say no strategically is not a weakness. It's your greatest business development tool. You now have the framework, the psychology, and the exact language. Use it. Protect your boundaries. Protect your team. And watch your client relationships actually get stronger when you do. Subscribe to Fluent Desk for more corporate survival guides and business English Decoded. We decode the unwritten rules of the workplace.